Hello, welcome. It is getting to be Christmas time, so I had to put my tree up. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. Now, let's get on to the real business here. Why we're truly here. First of all, I'm going to be putting on my makeup while we're going through. Actually, we're going in the past, okay? We're going to go 7 years ago. We're going to go 7 years ago when people didn't know what was going on. And it was called the calm before the storm. At this point right now, I believe that we are now in the storm. Okay. LeBron James just went off the radar, said, he needed to take time off. He set out on one game, couldn't concentrate. And now, he's not even with the Lakers right now. He's taking time off. All of these people are taking time off while allegations are being brought that from other celebrities towards them that they had done bad things. Okay. But I want to remind you of 7 years ago when a lot of us was trying to wake a lot of people up as to what was coming and what was happening and how people are just not going to believe it. They're just going to be like, what in the world is going on? We always said once the first domino falls, right? You've got a whole row of dominoes. Once one falls, right? They all fall down. All of them. Okay. So it must have been when the FBI infiltrated the diddler. They must have found that he was like the kingpin of it, right? He was the one that had been pulling most of the strings and doing most of the things that others wasn't entirely doing, which made him a danger to the United States of America. Because even with $50 million, he can't get out, okay? He's tried 3 times. He can't get out. But I want to take you back to 7 years ago. Back to when people were having an absolute fit, didn't know what was going on in the world. They were losing their ever-living minds. Trump had become president. Trump had beat Hillary Clinton, but there was things that Trump said that people did not grasp 7 years ago. And I want to remind you of some of those things. I also want to play for you the plan to save the world. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is 7 years ago, Trump had a cryptic message. People were wondering, why in the world are we here? Okay.
You guys know what this represents? Well, before this,
What's storming?
before this,
What storm is
we have the world's great military people in this room. I will tell you that. And we'll have a great evening. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
What's the storm, Mr. President? What's the storm?
What's
Why all of these
You'll find
major,
Give us a hint.
you'll find out.
Thank you, everybody.
You'll find out. Okay, that's all he would say is you'll find out. But why is all these major people here? Okay, let's go back over it. Why are they all here? High-ranking generals.
You guys know what this represents?
High-ranking people. Why are they all? What were they doing 7 years ago that made Trump say it's the calm before the storm? What?
Well, I don't remember just the calm before the storm.
Look at these people.
Could be the calm before the storm.
What storm is?
We have the world's great military people in this room, I will tell you that. And we'll have a great evening. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Boom. Okay. So everybody was in an uproar. What is the calm before the storm, Betty? What is it? What is it? I was one of those that said, you have to step back and watch. I know exactly what the calm before the storm is, and I'm going to present it to you right now. This is the calm before the storm. It's right here is.
Share this far and wide. The world is waking up. Sit back, relax, open up your minds, and enjoy.
Have you ever wondered why we go to war? Or why you never seem to be able to get out of debt? Why there is poverty, division, and crime? What if I told you what was done on purpose? What if I told you that those who were corrupting the world, poisoning our food, and igniting conflict were themselves out to be permanently eradicated from the earth with an idealistic fantasy? Well, let me tell you a story. We acknowledge there are criminals, of course. They rob your house, they steal your phone. They can murder you too if they think they can get away with it. We have all experienced criminals in one way or another. Criminals, as we know, are those who choose personal gain over the rights of others and have no regard for the law. But here is where
Hey,
you need
Amanda.
to expand your thinking. Criminals can also succeed in business and politics and can be elected as leaders. If a criminal became the president, imagine they could achieve. They could use the full weight to commit much larger crimes and ensure they and their friends were enriched to the fullest extent possible. A criminal president could create alliances with other criminal presidents and then collaborate on more global criminal activities. Anything goes. Drug running, human trafficking, whatever makes the big bucks. The 20th century was turbulent with war, economic disaster, famines, and displacement. We have always accepted these things as just human nature, and simply the way the world works. Something inevitable, and due to the weaknesses of human nature that drive us to these actions. This is where we were all tragically wrong. You are not a criminal. I'm not a criminal. So how can we just assume that it is human nature that is driving all this pain and misery? What if it wasn't human nature at all, and as a result of something more deliberate? We were taught that capitalism was the cause of a massive rich-poor divide and the reason for poverty, which in turn is the reason for war, crime, and starvation. Others were taught that communism, the system of equal wealth across all people, was really to blame for the mess. But you see, folks, it is none of these things. It is not our nature to fight and be racist. It is not in our nature to rob from others. What you must was the criminals all along. Yes, they got power. More power than a criminal should ever have. They rose to the top of media companies that control our news and entertainment. They ascended to the top of the banking system, also to the Oval Office, to Brussels, to the Vatican, to the Crown. They crept in quietly. They became leaders of agricultural companies who have control over our food supply. Also big pharmaceutical companies who want us to help us when we're sick. Nobody stopped them, and they just recruited more criminals to help them. First, they accumulated the world's wealth. They invented a system of money called central banking, which lends money to governments with interest, placing countries into eternal debt. People's wealth got less. Their wealth got more. Much more. When a criminal is already as rich as they can get, then protecting their ill-gotten gains becomes a priority. Angry citizens tired of being poor are a major obstacle and can revolt if they suffer enough. The criminals needed to prevent this, so they diverted attention to the last remaining competitor, the people of the world. You and me. We were not happy being ruled by criminals and having to work 3 jobs just to survive. They know we won't accept it, so they use their control of the media to step back against white, woman against man, young against old, Muslim against Christian. Convinced us we were the problem so that we would fight and destroy ourselves. To get it done faster, they attacked all aspects of humanity that make us strong. like family. Using their influence over culture, they popularized lifestyle choices that led to a surge in broken homes,
Hey,
lost
just
youth,
fumbles.
and substance abuse. I could talk all day about how else they deliberately weakened us, and it would turn your stomach. We were just trying to get on with living. So where are all the good guys? Good people just want to get married, have kids, make a living, and enjoy their liberty. Well, there were good guys, many. One became the President of the United States in January 1961. He knew about these criminals and wanted them gone. He knew their intentions for us all, and he wanted to fight them. Sadly, he had no idea how powerful they had become. Reagan also had good intentions for the American people. He knew this criminal mafia controlled almost everything by the stage, including the powerful rogue intelligence agencies. His economic policies were promising, but the criminals needed a weak America to hold on to their power. Reagan was shown with a bullet that a growing U.S. economy and prosperous citizens were not what the criminals wanted. It was looking pretty grim for good people. Every time someone wanted to stand up and do the right thing, they got stopped. Were we ever to be freed? These criminals are also known as the Deep State,
redheaded.
or Cabal, because of how they control things behind the scenes. Every president after Reagan was one of these Deep State criminals, and their empire got even stronger. With each bad president came new depths America and the world would sink. The world collapsed into darkness. Do you need me to tell you how? Destroyed factories, declining job numbers, sicker people. Opioids, destruction of Iraq, terrorism, collapsed governments, poverty, and genocide. Total misery. Do you think that was inevitable?
Hell no.
Well, here's where things start to take a new turn. When the full picture comes to be known, it will forever be regarded as the
Well,
greatest
I seen
story
it, but I
ever
didn't
told.
I didn't watch it.
Well, here is the top line. Some good people still held positions of power. They valued humanity and the rule of law. While the criminals discussed their game plan at the annual Bilderberg meetings, the good guys were making plans of their own. The information age was coming to change history forever. As the internet flooded into every home and appliances became smarter, and when people started carrying tracking devices, an opportunity to put an end to criminal control over the world was emerging. We became connected, trackable, and surveilled. But so did they.
That's what I was
They
telling
became
you about.
dependent,
So did they.
just like we did, on email, SMS, instant communication. It made crime much easier, but it also put them on a grid that, if accessed by the right people, would expose their crimes to the public and end their iron grip on us once and for all. In this new age of information,
No, baby, I
we
haven't
saw
yet.
that the military also have its own intelligence agency to focus on
I was waiting
cyber
on it.
espionage. They call this the NSA, the National Security Agency. Here we had every phone call, email, and text from every device stored and archived. Whether it be someone making
They
a
say
doctor's
there's things
appointment
coming, but
or
they
the
hadn't
Deep
got
State
here
setting
yet.
up a massive heroin purchase from the Taliban. In the right hands, it would be enough information to expose the sinister criminal plot to rub us blind and wipe us out. Hold that thought. Now I need to explain the plan. The good
Yeah, it's
guys
not
were
here yet,
devising a
but
plan
everything
to
is, like,
reclaim the
backed
world
up,
from the cabal and return it to
Tara.
the people. It would involve alliances with multiple countries, since the criminals had global rat lines, trade, and other infrastructure
Did you
in
get,
place that would need their cooperation. It
like a
came down
thing
to
that-
two choices for America.
a tracking
Launch
number or
military
anything?
coup to seize the government from whichever cabal puppet was in the White House at the time, or win legitimately, take control of the NSA, expose the criminals for what they are, and arrest them all. Obviously, the first option would be very troubling for the public. With people still preoccupied with cabal-engineered social issues, they would likely revolt and hurt themselves. No, it would have to be the latter. So they needed who could win, and who could win big. Many states like California had been so heavily inundated by criminals that even voting machines were electronically set up just any
Yeah,
which
because I
way.
haven't seen it yet.
Need to be a very decisive victory. good patriots in the U.S. military and their global partners asked Trump to run for president so they could take back control of America legitimately without alarming the public. Trump was a good choice, obviously, because he overcame the voter fraud and won. But he was a patriot, and he was loved and admired by the public. He was not interested in joining the cabal because they hated America, and he did not agree with them on that point. As soon as he showed interest in taking power, they activated their media assets to viciously turn on him. That's when we saw the sudden hatred emerge. Even when he won, the cabal still had no idea what he was a part of, and the sophisticated plan was about to fold against them. Shocked at their loss, they moved a full arsenal of intelligence, media, money, and technology to try and take back power. There are people at the top of the DOJ and FBI that put together a plan to frame Trump and have him impeached. This is where we come back to the NSA again. All messages were stored and could be used to expose this plot and prevent Trump's overthrow. An entire book will be written about the first 2 years of Trump's presidency: false flag terror attacks, down planes, missile alerts, assassination attempts. Here's the point. The world is currently experiencing a dramatic covert war of biblical proportions. Literally the fight for Earth between the forces of good and evil. I can't put it in simpler terms, but I can say it appears the good guys are winning. The cabal had complete control over North Korea. They hijacked the Kim dynasty, took them hostage, and worked to build up a nuclear arsenal to threaten the world. Kim Jong-un suddenly embracing peace simply because the deep state were beaten and driven out. ISIS was also destroyed in the year following Trump's win. We are all starting to see the pattern now that enough time has passed, that our biggest global concerns are starting, and peace is returning. It is all evidence that the good guys are winning the war. But we're still in the middle. While a lot is improving, it still puzzles many that most of these known criminals are still free, especially the higher-ups like Hillary Clinton, the Bushes, and Obama. That is coming in the next chapter of the story. That's why we have Q. The good guys with control over the NSA began the Q intelligence dissemination program to invoke an online grassroots movement that came to be called the Great Awakening. It started on underground internet channels and then moved to the mainstream. Q has been a fun distraction for those who follow world events and desire truth, but it is about to begin a much more important and necessary phase, keeping the public informed when the deep state war breaks out onto the surface. By this, I mean high-profile arrests. These folks, the criminal I'm referring to, are politicians, actors, singers, CEOs, and celebrities. People who have earned our trust, respect, and admiration. They have done very bad things that are all fully known and documented, and they will be severely punished. Those of us who have followed Q since the beginning will be here to help you make sense of the coming events. We are among the first to realize that our petty partisan divisions are just trivial distractions, and we are all enslaved by a hidden enemy. We realized that the problem was never capitalism or socialism, Democrat or Republican, black or white, Muslim or Christian. We know it was just very powerful criminals who had too much power. Fellow slaves, it's time to buckle your seatbelt, recognize your true enemy, and embrace a new future that we all owe to brave patriots who risk their lives to achieve this victory against the greatest force of evil the world has ever known. May God bless America.
Now, that right there pretty much told you everything. High-profile arrest, actors, singers, they've all done very bad things, and it's all been documented. Right? Isn't that what they said? They've all done very bad things, and it's all been documented. Because not only do we run around with recorders, they did as well. And so now people are shocked. Oh, okay, so they arrested Diddy. Now LeBron James, he had to quit the Lakers because he couldn't even play the last couple of times, right? So he left for personal reasons. Busby says, I have a whole list of celebrities that have done this. I'm telling you again, none of these celebrities are your friends. None of these celebrities care anything about any of us. They care whether or not we buy their album and whether we believe their BS. That's it. But if you knew the sinister stuff that they've done behind closed doors, and I don't think that they're even going to put it out there in court or anything else, that's going to be for the judge and the juries probably to see, so that people don't go in there and try to unalive people, because it's that sinister. You know, like I told you, if you go to that horror thing that I was playing the other day, that was just about, you know, jet pilots. There's more and more and more stories, you know. What was in those envelopes is we have it all. We have it all. We know everything that you have done. And it scared the bejesus out of them, because they were like, oh, shit. They have it all. They have everything. So, yeah, it's took many years to get to this point where you're going to start seeing arrest. But it took 50 years to get to this point, to get everybody infiltrated into the United States of America. And I can tell you that all started with Hitler and them, because all their spies came over here and started infiltrating, working in the United States of America. And yeah, as I'm saying this, people are going to be like, no, they don't. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they did. And they started doing MK Mind Ultra programming as well. That was a whole CIA thing. But as time goes on, you will see that I'm correct. And you will see people getting arrested that you never thought in a million years would. Yes. But see, they have I think the whole world is going to start falling. But see, they have a whole different law system. So I don't know how that's going to work unless somebody there steps up that goes against them. Like people are stepping up here in the United States and going against, you know, these people. They got to really step up. They got to quit being afraid, and they got to step up, and they got to also put their names and be 10 toes down on meaning business. Because a lot of people that have tried to bring this out in the last, 50 years have been unalived. Okay. They never lived to tell their story. So you also have to think about the victims that never lived to tell their story. The ones that you don't even know their name or anything about them. But there's a lot on there on that horror story thing that I gave you all a link to. I can't play all of that stuff, but I can tell you all of that stuff is exactly what I found when I was doing my research. That stuff is, in fact, happening. And all you had to do was go to their Instagrams. They posted it. Go to their Twitter. They posted it. They didn't care. They were bragging about it. Because back then, people didn't know what that stuff meant. So they would just retweet it, not even knowing what the heck these people were saying. Who goes and eats 4-year-old cheese pizza? You tell me. You tell me. You just sit here and tell me who's going to go eat 4-year-old cheese pizza. Please enlighten me. Because I know after 4 days, it's no good. There ain't no such thing as a 4-year-old cheese pizza, okay? Just like whenever they said that they started, tracking us, just perfect, normal human beings, the perfect, normal human beings that were good in control started tracking them and seeing all the bad things they were doing. And when all those emails came out of Podesta, people did not want to believe it. No, it was so sinister. You're sitting there thinking, really? Like, these people really do stuff like this, you know? Yeah, they do. And they get other people to do it because they rug them. And when they rug them, people don't know what they're doing. And then they're taping them. And then they're like, you're a part of this now. What are you going to do now? You're a part of this. And every one of them that has their story, every one of them says that they feel like a spirit left with them. Demons are everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. I mean, yeah, they're everywhere. And if you are fixing tunnels and doing weird stuff like that, of course, something might come home with you if something so sinister is going on. But these people were so scared of these other people that they didn't come out and say anything. It took years and years and years for them to have the courage to come and say anything. Because why? They were so powerful. And they had so many people, backing them. That what are you? You're a nothing. You're just another person that they don't care about. And I mean, instead of just coming out and saying it, I'm just trying to say it the way that I know I can, especially for, the way that the freedom of speech is and stuff. But back whenever, like, I was talking about this, it's kind of like I was country when country wasn't cool. I was talking about this stuff when it wasn't cool and people wasn't getting arrested and people never thought in a million years would any of this occur. Yes. It just took time. Because for one, when the FBI is on your ass, they're going to infiltrate you. They're going to become waitresses. They're going to become security guards. They're going to become limo drivers. They're going to become catering services. They're going to become whatever it is that you need. And then they've got your phone calls. They've got your text messages. They even going back to, they can get, like, if you're on Facebook and you're sitting there having a call with somebody, they can go all the way back to that call and they can see everything that was said and watch the whole call. That's the thing people don't understand. And as time goes on, it was the calm before the storm 7 years ago. 4 years ago, we was in the middle of it. Well, how about welcome to the storm? And the reason it's a storm is because it is all over. It's massive and it's huge people that people never even thought of. And right now they're saying Jay-Z didn't do it. Jay-Z didn't do it. Well, how come Nas was doing a beef battle back 20-some 30 years ago talking about how Jay-Z liked 13-year-old chickens? How come we got Larry now coming out talking about how children showed up at 11 p.m. at their parties? Come on. Come on, use your discernment, use your brain. These people don't give 2 iotas about you. These people would not help you. These people would not give you money. These people would not be sitting there saying you didn't do it. No, they wouldn't. And like they say, the fans are like fanatics. That's why they're called fans. They're fanatics. They're not fans. They're like obsessed with people that are just human like you and I, that go to the bathroom, put one leg on with their jeans and everything else just like we do, except they do sinister stuff to keep the power that they think that they need, because that's what these other people have taught them. It's a very sick circle, and we ain't in it, and we don't want to be a part of it. Put it that way. And there's many other musicians and many other singers and stuff that are coming out saying that they ran to God when they were at the studio, and someone said, if you sell your soul to the devil right now, I can make you famous overnight. No, thank you. I'm out. And they ran to God, and they've been with God ever since. They never went back to that stuff. The NFL player that came out, Larry used to be a roommate with Jay-Z before Jay-Z was big. You know what I mean? But then Jay-Z got weird. And then Larry left the NFL altogether. Larry Johnson was like, I don't want nothing to do with this. And he was one of the best running backs for the Kansas City Chiefs. And everybody was like, wow, why'd he leave? Well, wouldn't you leave if they got some weird shit going on and you don't want no part of it? And if you ain't part of it, then you ain't part of it. It'd be like if you went to school and you're getting bullied, and if you ain't with the people that are bullying, then you ain't popular. You got to stand out and you got to say, no, I'm not part of this, and I don't want to be a part of this. None of this is cool. And if you notice, they all got that one eye thing. They're all wanting to be what do you call those? Optometrists or something. They're always covering one eye. They always got one eye. Why? Oh, well, this means 666. This means shh, don't tell. How many celebrities do you see do this? Or how many? And this means I didn't see anything. I didn't see nothing. Nothing at all. This eye don't work. That's what all that stuff means. And this, what does this mean? As above, so down below. And the sickest thing is they do it right in front of our faces when they get done with the concert. Or they tell you at the concert, you're going to hell with me. I think, I can't remember exactly which concert it was, but people were leaving because demons were actually like attacking people in the actual concert. And people were leaving and fleeing for their lives like, holy shit. And never ever wanted to go back again. That people were manifesting demons. What about the one guy that was a rapper and all of a sudden it flashed on the screen, Satan? Do you guys think that was an accident? That it flashes on the screen, Satan? Satan? Do you see some of those things that they do where they're doing their dances or they're doing their little things? It's all rituals. And people just sitting there watching like, oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at the smoke. Oh, look, she's coming down on a snake. If that's entertainment, I don't know. It's crazy. What about the Olympics when they had all them beds and all these little kids running from bed to bed? Do you guys remember that? Didn't you think that was strange? That's not creativity. Exactly. That you are exactly right. And now that people are awake, they can see it more. Because those years when I was talking about this stuff, people's eyes were closed and they just thought I was like, I had flew off the cuckoo's nest and went crazy. And I was like, no. I know you're going to think that I'm absolutely insane. But I'm telling you, this is the little gang and what these people do. And I'm so thankful we're not a part of it. Who would want to be a part of anything like this? But if you actually knew, and I wish I could go over each one of those things of just what people are saying about the Diddy stuff. But if you actually it's easy to be able to tell you, but if you actually knew, it is a $1 billion industry. I'm talking with a B, maybe even trillion at this point, because Why? For the last 4 years, they've left those the border open. What do you think came across the border? And they kept wondering, where's the children? Where's all the children that came across the border? Where's the people that came across the border? Well, they're being worked like slaves, and sometimes to dig tunnels. Yes, wait till that happens, because he did say as soon as he becomes president, he's dropping the names that went to that island. And you guys know what island I'm talking about. What about Ellen DeGeneres sitting there every single day with Jeffrey Epstein's island behind her? Pretty much just making fun of us, how stupid we are. We didn't know what the hell that was. And I always thought that it was weird. When I very first saw that building and all of that in the background of her stuff, I thought, that's an odd looking, weird thing with a owl on it. And that I just kind of like left it at that, like, that's odd. Why is that? Why is that in her studio? And why does it have an owl on it? I mean, I just thought it was just the oddest thing. So all these years, people watching her thinking that she's just a comedian. She's an amazing person while she talks about pizza and how they're having pizza parties and they just have the best time. And the whole time, what are we looking at? Epstein Island. Like, I look back at it now and I think, damn, they really do put it right in front of our faces, and then we just don't know. But did you ever think that it was strange that that building was back there that was blue and white with an owl and the way that it was formed and stuff? Did you ever think that that was a strange, weird thing in her background? Because as soon as I seen Epstein Island, that's the first thing I remembered. Ellen DeGeneres. And I went right back to her show, and right there it was, right in front of my face. And I think I was one of the first ones to break that story about Ellen DeGeneres and it being Epstein Island behind her. That was like a slap in people's faces. It's like, this is what we do when you guys aren't around. This is the place we go to. And people ain't even talked about how heinous the shit was that happened there. Well, just imagine what happened there is the same thing that was happening in the tunnels and everything else with the diddler and the others and all the others and everybody else that is all in one little, they're in a club and we're not in it. She moved out of the country. Her and her wife, either something happened. She moved out of the country, but then something happened to their property and she moved back. And remember, she was supposed to move out of the country due to Trump. Yeah. Remember who she was real best friends with. Hey, Mr. Nobody, nice to see you. But remember who she was real best friends with. P. Diddy. How many times did he go on her show? I mean, legitimately. Like, let me see if I can find something here just to kind of sum it up here. See if I can find something here to kind of show. And what happened to Twitch? What happened to Twitch? The guy that did, the drum or did all her music and stuff like that. What happened? So I'm just going to play something here. I'm just going to play it because I'm just going to show you again the background. All right, so let's go right here. And they make sure that they show it too. All right, so for instance, when you first go and you're looking at, I don't know which one this one was or whatever, but right here, first thing she has on her screen is the palm trees and Hollywood, right? She's talking to two little kids. It says then and now, Sophie Grace, Rosie's first and last appearance on the Ellen DeGeneres show. I don't know I don't even know who these kids are, why they're here. I'm not trying to find that. I'm just trying to find a segment to show, well, who the hell is this? Wait, is that Nicki Minaj?
Okay, Nikki, what do you?
Yep, that's Nicki Minaj. So they must really love her. I don't know what they're doing. But I'm trying to show you over where the side is, where you see Epstein Island. Right there. Right over here is the little Epstein Island little thing that she always had going on in her show. Oh, honey, I already did Chaos and Roses, and it's disgusting. And they're all in it. All of them. I mean, before the powers that be was the Bible, and the Bible was the first to warn us. So when we faced a global pandemic followed by this holy war, I have to admit I was scared, still am, and we were also warned of the second coming of Christ when innocence was being stolen and nothing being done about it, which totally reminds me of another certain headline. Yeah, and I do believe that's true. You guys are going to be seeing that. Because when I did the segment of John of God, which John of God went down to in 2018, he was arrested and he was put in prison for HTSA and running a human baby market of women getting, pregnant and then him selling it and stuff. That was a whole big deal that SDA was around at the time. But Amanda, it is scary. A lot of this stuff, is biblical. If you look around, a lot of this stuff is biblical. Right. Yes, you have to be at peace with it because what is in the dark is coming to the light. And even though I think, like today, my sister's voice, I was watching, she had done a little card reading for me, and bless her heart, because I was wondering why I was dreaming of a baby all the time. And bless her heart, it came out that, I got married and I moved and all of that. And the gift I wanted to give my husband was a baby, but I could not because I was sick. Remember, I'd been sick with this gallbladder stuff. I'd been so sick, and I didn't try to go and get my tubes untied or anything else because I felt my body was sick, right? But then that crushed my dream of having a baby with my husband, the man that truly loves me, the man that, even if we had a baby together and if I didn't make it, he would be here with that baby. He would have a part of me, or vice versa. I would have a part of him. But unfortunately, even the cards showed I was sick. I was sick the whole time. And I kept saying to all of you, I'm sick, but I don't want to gloat about it, and I'm not sure what I have, and I don't know what to do, right? And I thought the cancer had came back, and I'm so thankful that that's not what it was. I am so thankful that it was just my gallbladder and it was able to be taken care of. But then that gave me another year to be older, to where now I'm 49. It is way too dangerous. Hey, Gammy, it's way too dangerous now for me to actually have a baby. So that's what that was about. Okay, so right here is the Epstein Island thing that they have in this background, okay? And I guess this is them growing up now. But I'm trying to see if I can just show it again. I'm just trying to pick one. But let me see if I can find something else here. Let's see, Ellen DeGeneres. Let's see, background is, let's see, Epstein. Yeah, when I first put this out, everybody, they went crazy. This was when my channel was bigger. They went crazy. They were like, what? And then they went and looked and they were like, oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, so it's right here. It's right here. And I'm glad that people picked up on it.
So Ellen DeGeneres announced today that she's leaving America. Ellen DeGeneres is leaving America because of Donald Trump's victory.
Oh, hang on.
But the question you need to ask yourself is,
what is this music?
Why is she leaving the country?
We know why.
And why does her set look like Jeffrey Epstein's island?
See?
Epstein Island.
Why does it look like
Why?
Why can't you guys stop it?
Why?
Because I'm going to tell you why. Why? Okay, so this guy wants to know why? Because she had such a great time at that Forbidden Island, and it was, they always have to put it in your face somewhere on their sets or something else. Yes. And I wanted to talk about that as well. I think what happened, do you remember when they were talking about when they were still together and she was found naked on ecstasy and out of her mind? Do you remember that? I don't think that Anne actually went with it. I think she was put into it. But do you remember that? And then when she finally left her, and what it was she went to a neighbor's, from, if I can remember correctly, she went to a neighbor's. She was naked. She was all drugged up. They said on ecstasy. She was all, drugged up on ecstasy. No, this is what I'm going to tell you about this chaos. What I think about all of that. But she was beating on people's doors trying to get help. She was also saying that weird stuff was going on at the house. And they locked her up. Do you remember that? Do you remember when they locked her up in the insane asylum? So now think about it. What if, and let's just play devil's advocate here. What if Ellen was keeping her drugged to keep her under wraps and everything kosher? And what if she came out of it, like you're saying with the MK stuff, and she didn't know what was going on, and they may have been in the middle of something weird because she was naked. You got to remember, she was dead ass naked. She wasn't just running around. She was legitimately naked. And she was screaming, there's things going on that you need to do something. Cops need to be called. and everything else. And she was screaming at the top of her lungs and drugged out of her mind. Well, then she was taken to, wasn't it that Los Angeles hospital that they all go to? Do you remember that? She was taken there and they said that she had a psychotic episode. But the weird thing is that I remember Anne not being a druggie. I remember that that's one of the things she talked about, is that she didn't do drugs. So could it have been being placed in her drink and things like that, and something sinister was going on, and the MK broke because it was too sinister, and so she went running to try to get help, but nobody would help her. Because I remember when this was all playing out, and they were making fun of her and saying, oh God, her and Ellen must have gotten a fight or something, and blah blah blah, and now she's running around naked. But is that normal for a normal person, even just a normal person, to run around naked, banging on doors trying to get help and saying there's something sinister going on at my house? Exactly. And you know who Anne is, Anne Harkey? Don't you know? Okay, so let's talk about the incident of the day. Okay, so she had been away from Ellen, what, 10 years? Was it 10 years she was away from Ellen when she had the accident that ultimately took her life? But let's talk about that. They say that she lived through the accident. Because remember, as soon as she left Ellen and got out of there and got out of the drug rehab or wherever they stuck her, she came back and she got with a man. And did she have children? Did she have children? I can't remember if she had children with him or not. Maybe she didn't have children, because I just looked her up not too long ago because she was on my mind. I was trying to put all these little, dots together of all of this time, right? And I was trying to put these dots together. She had sons. Okay. That was after Ellen. Wasn't that after Ellen? With the man that she got with? Yes. So that's what I want to talk about. Is they're saying that hey Pindar, happy birthday to you, baby. I didn't even know it was your birthday, but I saw the thing. So happy birthday to you, honey, and be careful on the road. They say that she set up in the gurney and then she started fighting the ambulance, and the ambulance slapped her back down. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? But they're saying that whenever they got her out of that car, even though it was going 100 miles an hour, which I think the brakes were tampered with, because she was getting ready to come out and start talking about some things. And she was starting to really come out and talk to people. She also said that she got blacklisted in the movies because, remember, she played she was an actress. And she said after Ellen, she got blacklisted and could barely get any roles. Well, it could be. But not only that, not only did she set up, but she was fighting the ambulance driver. The people that witnessed it said she was fighting them. So if she was fighting them, because they had strapped her down and she was fighting them, then it wasn't just a body reaction getting up like this. You know what I'm saying? And I did some research on her I mean, she came into my research, I want to say about 3 months ago. Something told me, and she was just getting ready to do some big interviews with some big people, when all of a sudden her car wouldn't stop, and then supposedly that wasn't her, or supposedly, she expired. I just want to say that I find that quite strange. Now, that can happen. That can happen due to shock and the way that the body nerves are and stuff like that. But I'm saying, I think that it has something to do with something I watched about P. Diddy, okay? That freaked me out. That now I'm looking back and going, shit, there is an actual politician that's been missing. Shit. Some of these musicians that supposedly this guy saw on the wall didn't expire the way they said that they expired. They actually expired down here. I remember people saying that they will set up like Jane Doe's and stuff, and it not be the actual person, but the actual person will be taken back to the place to be tormented, tortured, and all that. I remember hearing about that and thinking to myself, does that really go on? But see, I wonder what Anne, if she knew, well, she had to have. But when the MK stopped working for her, she was naked and in the middle of it and ran for her life. Because say that you're not programmed no more, and all of a sudden you wake up and something real sinister is going on, and it's so sinister that it breaks the MK Ultra programming. And would you run out your house naked and everything, scared to death? I probably would. Yeah, that's another thing. Nobody gets involved. Now, remember how Ellen DeGeneres first became a comedian? Do you remember her talking about her girlfriend and how they had broke up that night? And as her girlfriend left the bar, then as she was going home, she passed a car, and that was her girlfriend that was expired. Yeah, that was a drone. That was an actual drone that hit that car. A drone. A drone. Mm-hmm. Yep. Right. And that's another thing. She was a hell of an actress, a good person, but when she died, like, it was not really told that much about. Or they make you think they're crazy, they've lost their mind. Why do you think all these people have lost their minds? Or why they keep putting them, just like they did Kanye West, putting them in these insane asylums or these hospitals to reprogram what they think? Now, I'm going to tell you this, and you guys are going to be like, oh, shit, Betty. I'm going to tell you, there's already people coming out the woodwork for Kanye West as well. So and just remember who he was married to. And remember when he came out with this stuff about Jesus and God and everything. And then he says that now he's opening up a corn company And he's having his wife watched, and just some weird, crazy shit that people just normally don't do is being done. And there's people going to be coming out, more people than, yeah. Poor Britney Spears, when she was showing the flowers and she was doing weird stuff like that, she was trying to let people know. She was trying to let them, flowers represent the virgin, you know. Right, Chaos? Well, I mean, it's I love to you know, to investigate and to be able to talk about it. And I'm so happy that a lot of you are awake now to where you understand, because before, when I would talk about it, I swear people would look at me like I was an alien. They would be like, Betty, you are crazier than crazy than crazy. You know, and they would call me all kinds of things. And I would just sit there, and afterwards, sometimes I'd get off of there and I would cry because I didn't feel like I got that anybody listened. But now I look back, and when my videos hit, you know, up to the hundreds and thousands of people, that means I woke people up, and I did my job. I did what God asked me to do. When I came out of, you know, being on life support, and before that, God said, go tell my people I'm coming. That's exactly what I did. I came back and I started warning of what the most precious gifts we could ever have is children. They are the most precious, and they are the next generation. They're going to be the next presidents down the road, the politicians, the, you know, the different things that happens is all going to be these children. But I look around. Yes, get your foil hat, honey, because it's going to get your boots. Get your foil hat, get your boots. And I have to be careful about the way that I word things, because those words can harm me. You know what I mean? So I have to be very careful of how I word things. But I do want to say that, yes, I'm in agreement with this person on here. Why, Ellen, did you have Epstein? Right? Exactly. But I want to go with this person. Why, Ellen, do you have Epstein Island behind you on your set? Why? We might move over to Rumble in just a little bit. I'm going to see what everybody wants to do. If you all want to move over, we will move over. There are some things I can talk about because I've seen other people talking about it, but I think we should move to Rumble and listen to some of the things going on with people that are coming out talking about Diddy on these platforms of the 4chan and all those 8chan, all those places that I know of. I mean, hell, let's face it. That's where I found Isaac Cappy, was on 4chan. I found him. I put his story out. I thought, I believed in him. I thought that he was, you know, possibly the next a dead man walking. But then somebody wrote me and said, Betty, watch it. Pay close attention. And then I started researching and seeing Lloyd Kaufman was the guy he worked with. I started seeing that the guy that did the Illuminati, and it's called Illuminati, for Madonna, that video, he was friends with him, Brian. I started seeing all of this. Let's see. I got to leave in a few to go to my granddaughter's Santa dinner at school. Oh, but I will be on up in your streams when you cover this stuff. Okay, honey. Yeah, well, we're going to probably, I might cover one of the things that happened that someone is saying that happened that was true on right now. Or do you all want me to go to Rumble? Because if we go to Rumble, I can be more open. I can stop it. I can actually explain it, and stuff like that, because I just feel that I don't want to be taking my chance. I worked so hard to get this channel up and going, and I don't have that kind of freedom of speech here, and I don't want to ruin everything that I built here, because I love you all, and I don't want to have to rebuild again for the millionth time. I feel like, just because, you know, I'm bringing something to all of you. You're not on Rumble right now? Well, can you get on Rumble? Because that is my Rumble right there, but that's not the one we'll be on, though. We'll be on this one. We'll be on this one. We won't be on that one, SDA. We'll be on hang on just a second. We'll be on the one that says Betty Washam Investigates. That's the one we'll be on. I think I don't remember what it's under. Is it under Betty Washam? Oh, yeah, it's this one right here, honey. Let me see if you got the right one. This one right here, babe, is the one that we're gonna be at right there. That one right there. It's weird because it'll do rumble.com, then it'll do /C and then Betty Washam. Okay, so yeah, get you an account, give me about 5 minutes, and I will meet you over at Rumble. So anybody that wants to come to Rumble, right here is my Rumble. And I'll also put it in a post so that everybody can know where we're at and what we're doing. I just feel like I have more freedom to be able to speak up, and then I can stop it and explain stuff to you as we go. So give me about 10, 15 minutes, and I will see you all at Rumble. To the rest of you, if you made it this far, and if you would like to go see my Rumble, right here is my Rumble as well. But please subscribe to my channel. I talk about all different kinds of things. We got our makeup on today. It's just a look. It's nothing superb. We're just putting on a little bit of makeup, trying to make ourselves feel better while Mother Nature attended. And click those thumbs up, because they really do help your girl. And even if you've watched this, put down in the comment, a heart or something like that, because that lets the YouTube people know that you have engaged and that you like my content. Until next time, I will see you all over on the Rumble. Mwah.
Betty on the streets, yeah, she brings the heat. Drama around the corner, feeling that beat. YouTube days, episodes unfold. Betty's got the scoop, stories untold. Navigating drama, twists and turns. Betty breaks it down, everyone learns. Go down low, she's got all the tea. Pull up to the screen, come and watch for free. Watch. Betty, on the go. Streaming live, don't miss the show. On the streets, she's our guide. Hip-hop dance, keep it locked inside. Every episode, every time, Betty's here, making it shine. Feel the rhythm, hit the floor. Betty's drama, always wanting more. Catch the vibe, she's in the groove. Pitch and twist, she's got the moves. Drama drops, beats keep going. Dance all night, energy showing. Betty, on the go. Streaming live, don't miss the show. On the streets, she's our guide. Hip-hop dance, keep it locked inside.